Taylor, good morning. What are you and the guys talking about today?
Good morning, Jenna. Good morning, Nick and Chris. Coming up on Undisputed, did the Cavs officially turn their season around last night? And where will Kirk Cousins sign? Plus, Eric Dickerson and Chris Broussard are in studio with us. Undisputed is coming up next. Jenna, back to you guys.
All right, Joy, thank you so much. We look forward to that. We here are sticking with the Cavs as well. They got a much-needed boost from Larry Nance Jr. last night, his first start for Cleveland. He scored 22 points. He grabbed 15 rebounds. Cavs blowing out Detroit 112-90. So LeBron and company have something to feel good about. CeCe, what did you take away from the Cavs game last night?
For one, you have to look at them defensively. What they did the second quarter, the second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. 21, 21, and 20 points. 62 points over the course of those 3 quarters. They're going to win a lot of games. The other thing, Dusty, our statistician, he gave me the numbers. Since LeBron has been in Cleveland, regular season and playoffs, they have given up less than 100 points 154 times. They've won 130 of those games. So for me, Nance, the energy, it's easy to say, oh, offensively scoring 20 points. No, but defensively, how many games can you win with LeBron if they're going to score under a point? They're going to win a lot of games. So this is the way Tristan Thompson, outside of the 15-foot, 13-foot jump shot, this is the way he played 3 years ago. Kevin Love is really not a natural 5, so if they got some relief with Nance playing at the 5, Kevin Love coming back to the 4, LeBron at the 3, I believe that is a lethal lineup right there. So I believe finding Nance and finding him a spot in that 5 spot, it's going to help him offensively, help him with the spacing, defensively, because he's a better defender in the pick and roll and a great rebounder, and I believe it gives them an extra juice. Tristan, they're getting a blessing in disguise with him being hurt. Yep. Because they would have never seen Nance as a starter unless Tristan sprains his ankle and they get a chance to see Nance over the next 2 weeks.
Are you concerned all that we're into the final stretch and we still have to add another guy back into the lineup and figure out how that's going to work?
Listen, the moment Kevin Love got hurt and the Cavs made these trades, we said this was going to be an issue for them. That Love's going to only have 5 to 10 at the most, but probably more like 5 to 7 games back with these guys. Like, fortunately for them, I do not think, no matter where they finish in the standings, the first round of the playoffs with LeBron and playoff LeBron, that's going to be a problem for them. So they're going to have more time than the typical team, or more time than they would if they were playing in the West, to get everyone back acclimated. But I do think that Ty Lue knows what people who watch the Cavs every night know, which is he has an idea of what his best lineup should be. He has an idea that the starting lineup or the finishing lineup, if they want to go big, will be Hill, Hood, LeBron, Love, Nance. That if they want to go small, they'll take Nance out, slide LeBron and Love up, and then move a guy into the 3 spot, be it Kyle Korver or be it Jordan Clarkson. They play 2 guards with Clarkson and Hill. Like he knows about what they are going to do. The big note from last night was we got to see extended minutes of a lineup that I've wanted to see more of, which was LeBron and Larry Nance on the court at the same time. Since Larry Nance got to the team, minutes with LeBron and Nance on the court, no matter who the other 3 guys are, the Cavs are plus 53. Every other minute the teams play combined with LeBron and Nance are not on the court at the same time. They are minus 15. LeBron unlocks a better part of Nance's roll to the rim offense, and as far as the Cavs offense as a whole, CeCe, you mentioned it, but almost like I want to emphasize it more. If Nance can reliably hit that 12 to 14-foot jump shot, he hit one of those to seal the Nets game. The Nets didn't see that coming. He hit a few of those last night. Ty Lue said after the game, we didn't know he had.
The Cavs didn't see that coming.
Right. Ty Lue said, we didn't know he had that shot. If he can reliably hit that mid-range shot, that gives them an element, in addition to his defense, which was extraordinary last night, that they never had with Tristan Thompson.
Yes, it is. They are a better offensive team. I believe they're a better, but let's talk about the real numbers where they're going to be. It's not going to be 22 points. It's not going to be 12 boards. It's probably be around 12 to 14 and maybe 8 to 10 rebounds. That's where I believe he'll level off to. I like the point where Ty Lue said, we didn't know he had this. So for me, there are still issues that have to be worked out. Kevin Love coming back late, it is a problem. It's not the ideal situation that you want to be going into the playoffs. So over this last night's game included, these next 20 games, they're going to be doing some experimenting. And I believe it's very important not only to find out what guys can't do, but what are guys really with their natural skill set. Because this is their first time with the Cavs and the Cavs coaching staff. They didn't know Larry Nance had that shot in him. So I believe just with the other players, and also, what are they going to discover with George Hill? Is he going to be an elite defender going down the stretch? Or is he a little bit older, which I've seen him in these 9 games? Is his three-point shooting going to get back to around 40%? Because right now in 30%, he's not helping them. JR, I believe mentally, is a problem. Last night, they get the productivity from JR and George Hill of 3 points out of almost 45 minutes of basketball from their backcourt. So did we see something last night? Yes. But that backcourt is still a concern for me.
To blow a team out, blow them out to the point to where LeBron doesn't even play in the fourth quarter, when your starting backcourt goes 1 of 8 from the field for 3 points, you don't see, usually if you blow a team out, it's because your guards hit a bunch of threes. But it was because LeBron was great, Nance was great, and as CeCe said off the top, their defense in the second and third quarter, which is where this game changed, was extraordinary. The Pistons only made 22 two-point field goals the entire game.
And also the Cavs were facing one of the worst backcourts in the NBA. So how often are they going to face a backcourt like that who's going to struggle?
They were facing one of the worst backcourts, but a front court that typically you would think would give them problems with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. So because of the size. So the reason Detroit's season's gone to hell is really the Reggie Jackson injury. You're right. Ish Smith is not an NBA caliber starting point guard.
All right, next up for the Cavs, they start a 6-game road trip Wednesday night late out in Denver. So we'll see them put which lineup they put all together. Moving on, for the second year in a row, it looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to use the franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell. In a quote to ESPN.com, the all-pro running back said, "We're not coming to a number that we both agree on. They're too low, or I guess they feel I'm too high. I'm playing for strictly my value to the team. That's what I'm asking. I don't think I should settle for anything less than what I'm valued at." CeCe, what do you think here? Would franchising Bell be a good move?
It was their only move they had left. They couldn't come to a long-term agreement. They have too much of their salary cap allocated to offensive players. Antonio Brown, $18 million, one of the highest paid. Ben Roethlisberger has been one of the highest paid for a long period of time as a multi-Super Bowl champion. L. Bell, they haven't won with him there offensively. So when they've had the triplets, they have not had success. So for me, I believe that plays into the fact of Pittsburgh. What do they do long term? I don't believe they're going to sign him to a contract long term based on his demands and based on the other needs that they have, especially defensively. They have some other players on the defensive end that will need long-term contracts. They need a middle linebacker. Ryan Shazier, they've announced he's not going to be back. They need help in their secondary. So for me, sign them to the one-year tender as a franchise. That was the only logical thing that Pittsburgh could do because his demands, he wants twice as much money as the top-paid running back. That's not going to happen for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I believe he's overplayed his hand, and your actual value in the market is not what you think you're worth. Your actual value is what someone will pay you.
But the reason that this is right now potentially a lose-lose for both parties is Le'Veon does not get the long-term security that he wants, the big deal. And the Steelers, while they don't want to pay him twice what the top-paid running back is, the second year under the franchise tag, they almost are. I mean, he's going to make $14.5 million on a one-year deal under the franchise tag. The biggest running back contract in football right now, Devontae Freeman, 5 years, $41 million. So that's just over $8 million a year. So they are almost, and what they are paying for these 2 years of Le'Veon Bell, $12 million, then $14.5 million. 2 years, $26.5 million fully guaranteed. That is more guaranteed money than Shady McCoy got in his 5-year deal with the Buffalo Bills.
But there's no long-term commitment.
Correct. But there's no long-term commitment on either side of it, which is why it's for Le'Veon, it's risky, obviously not what he wants. But for the Steelers, if he's really good this year, they can't franchise him a third straight time. They can, but they would never. So then he will be a true free agent.
And they can still sign him to a contract extension during the season.
Yes, absolutely. But they could have done that during this season, and they weren't able to get it done.
But maybe the running back, maybe his numbers come down, and he realizes, no one's going to pay me twice unless I go to Cleveland or something.
Right. How do you think you see this all playing out? Do you think?
I think he plays under the tag. I don't think they get a deal done for this season. Now, maybe moving forward they will, but I think he plays under the tag.
And going into next year has a similar season?
I'm concerned about his overall durability. If you look at what NFL players in their prime, how long are they going to last? I'm very, very concerned. He's already missed 18 games. He's already been suspended. So trying to give a guy like him $60 million, $15 million guaranteed for a running back, I don't see it happening. I think Pittsburgh did the best thing for them short term and long term. So I don't see the negative in them signing them to the franchise.
But it also, for the Steelers, and I'm sure for their management, has to make them feel like this past year was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because Le'Veon was healthy. Antonio Brown was healthy. Big Ben was healthy. They were putting up,
Everything was healthy but the locker room.
Okay, sure enough, fair enough, but there's no guarantee that you're going to have the physical health that they had throughout the year on the offensive side of the ball. I know they dealt with the terrible Shazier injury, and they were positioned to have a rematch against New England, a team that they felt like we played them.
Which they couldn't even get to.
Right, they couldn't get to it because they didn't show up for the first quarter of the Jacksonville game. Like, I wonder if they're going to look back and say our best opportunity to make a Super Bowl with these three great players, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, was the 2017 season. We squandered it.
And he has until when to decide?
Well, I mean, Le'Veon can sign it whenever he wants. Like, my guess is he'll sign it right before the start of the season like he did last year.
Yeah, today is the deadline when they have to make the announcement.
Okay.
He has some time before he can sign it, which he'll take that time.
Guys, great show.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank
This
you.
is a big one. Stay
What
with
is
us.
that new word that you taught us today?
Oh, don't shade on someone? Hypothetical?
Oh, no!
Undisputed is next.
No, don't end it on that.